Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream nerds.
This is Jeff from Airstream Nerds, and we're back in my tow vehicle, 2013 Ford Raptor. I don't know how many of you drive with tow with the Ford Raptor, but I'm, as I've stated in other videos, I'm in the audio-video industry, and one of the things I can't stand is a audio system in a vehicle that sounds horrible. When we purchased this vehicle, one of the options that we wanted was the heated and the cooled seats. Now, in order to get the heated and the cooled seats, you had to get essentially only one package. There was one add-on package available for this vehicle, and that was the heated and cooled seats. But in that package came with the navigation system and a couple other things that we really didn't care about, but it came with it, so we took it. Now, one of the first things I generally do in a new vehicle is I take out the audio system and I replace it with something much, much better. In this case, when my first revision of this was my go-to place, Extreme Audio in Mechanicsville, Virginia, and had them go over and come up with some sort of setup for this vehicle. So initially what we did is we replaced the factory crappy subwoofer with a better subwoofer. We replaced all the speakers in the vehicle, and we added an amplifier, and at the time there was no option but to keep the factory head unit. Well, the factory head unit output was horrible, so it was a variable output Sony head unit setup, and the audio output was very bad. So even though we spent all this money on upgraded parts, the audio system still sounded bad. At the time, we were unable to replace the head unit because there was no method of aftermarket control of your heated and cooled seats. So even though we wanted that as a package, it kind of screwed us up. A couple revisions later, we found a company that we were able to send out the factory head unit to do a firmware update, removing the Sony hardware, and that fixed the audio problems at least 1,000% better than the original, but it still wasn't exactly where I wanted. A few months ago, Extreme Audio contacted me and they told me that Scosche came out with a brand new interface that gave us control of not only the air condition and the heat, and with the auto and the temperature and all that stuff, but also the heated and the cooled seats for the passenger and for the driver. They were fairly certain it would work in my vehicle. It wasn't specified. It was for 2013 and up, and it was the 2013 plus Ford F-150 dash kit with the integrated HVAC control. Thing was like $500, somewhere in that range, just for this touch panel along with the plastic inserts. The regular trim pieces that you would use to install a system into a vehicle. They did some checking. They found out that it would work. So off to the races I went. I drove down to Mechanicsville. I picked out my double DIN receiver. In this case, it's Pioneer, has CarPlay. It's the, what is it, the 4002 or something like this. It's the brand new, just came out, NEX series Pioneer head unit without the navigation. Obviously I don't need navigation. I like my go-to Garmin up top here. It does what I need, and with CarPlay I can throw my Maps app up there if I want. Obviously I can't put the Google Maps or the Waze app because Apple and Google don't like each other. But anyway, so this solved my problem. Now my audio quality is a million times better from stock. I get to be able to put any factory unit you want in, any double DIN factory unit you want. You still have all your controls. You don't miss anything. This is actually not a button anymore. It's just a touch sensor type thing. You've got your passenger airbag display up there. Every single thing that was there before is there now. What you did lose out is you lost out on the knobs and the buttons and all that, but everything, all those knobs and buttons are incorporated up here. You've got your fan controls, your temperature for your passenger and your driver. You've got your max fan, you've got your dual controls. You can set your temperature and do auto, air condition. You've got your defrost, you've got your circulating. So everything that you had before is now on a touch screen. I mean, these are touchscreen buttons. It's not hard buttons with just a screen. These are actual, touchscreen buttons. You're able to do whatever you want it to do. I've had it, like I said, in my vehicle here for a few months now. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted. I wish I hadn't spent so much money on all the different initial changes, but now I think I'm set exactly where I want it. Again, any of you guys out there with this F-150 or specifically the Raptor crowd that want to get out of the stock head unit, the Scosche, this setup is the way to go. This is Jeff, Airstream Nerds.